Welcome. I'm Halcyon, and this is the Hug Nation broadcast. Today, I want to talk about how to make God laugh. And this is inspired by Adam Grant's new book, Think Again. I had to think again what it was called. It's a book about changing your mind and how important it is to be able to change your mind. They say, if you want to make God laugh, make a plan. The more that we can let go of the way we think they need to be, the more we can be open to the way they possibly go. Being lucky is not some mystical thing, but it's actually the ability to have a wider view and to see possibilities that other people don't see. Adam Grant talks about the danger of being too attached to your plans, your goals, or your destination. That you can have the right GPS directions to the wrong place. The GPS takes you exactly where you say you want to go. But who's to say that's exactly where you need to go or you should go? One of the reasons why Burning Man has been such a powerful educator for me and many other people is we are free from our maps. We are free from our GPS. We don't have anything telling us where we need to go. And in that absence of a map, you are able to hear your intuition better. You are able to tune into the magnet that is pulling you down some other weird street. I have become absolutely dependent on my GPS on my phone. I can't get anywhere without it. I've outsourced my direction. One thing that used to happen is people would get lost. Now we only get lost if Google has a mistake, like a bridge goes out. But it used to be, it was pretty common, at least for me, to not go directly to where I was planning on going. And what can happen in those situations when you are lost is you can drive by a street that you've never been on. You can see a place that you've never seen. You can discover things that you didn't know existed. That's what happens at Burning Man. You decide to go down some random street because it just feels right. Next thing you know, you're hearing music you've never heard before, and it happens to be your new favorite. And you're dancing with someone that turns out to be your life partner. And you don't discover those things if you are sticking with the plan, if you are attached to the destination. And we are always lacking the vantage point to know if something is good or bad. So being too attached to what we think is right, or thinking a situation is good or it is bad, it leaves us without the ability to be lucky because we are closed off of possibility. What could happen because of this? The first year that Pink Heart went to Burning Man, when we worked so hard as a group to create all of our structures, and I had this crude drawing that we ended up building to be very similar, very close. It was so exciting to see it come together. But I ended up having a breakdown on the way to the Burning Man. My beautiful motorhome broke down. And so we broke down, so I missed the window that I wanted to get to the burn. And so it was a couple days later. And so by the time I got there, my campmates had already constructed our beautiful pink shade. But what they had done was, the plan was it had 6 feet legs and 10-foot ceiling bars. And they had installed it with 10-foot legs. They'd switched the poles and made a 6-foot ceiling. And it was wrong. Now, I could have responded by going, fuck, like they messed it up. I could have maybe said, we have to take this down. This is not the vision. This is not right. But I thought again, and I looked at it and I was like, this is way better. Oh my gosh. And so if you've ever visited Pink Heart, you will know that our main structures are 10 foot tall. We reconfigured the whole thing. Now the whole thing is built for being 10 feet legs. because we were able to think again, to let go of our plan, to recognize that we might not know what's best. And it's interesting because my career is an example of that too. I went to school in psychology. I wanted to be a therapist, I thought. I was really into Abraham Maslow and self-actualization and peak experiences, and so I wanted to help people self-actualize. And then I got a job in the field of psychology before I went to grad school, because I heard that was the way to get to the best grad school, so I could rise the ladder as I thought was the way that you're supposed to live, better, more. And as I worked as a counselor with mostly disturbed boys, I was so miserable and decided, after some really impressive support by my parents, after about almost 2 years of just my soul slipping out of me and crying in the shower before work every day, deciding that I was going to quit. And I went back to junior college to study design on these new Macintosh computers that were letting people do desktop publishing. Because the only thing that was making me happy during that period of my life was making a zine. I did a Xerox zine where I drew pictures and copy-pasted things that I had printed out and made stories and comics. And that made me happy, so I went back to school to see if I could make that better. I had no idea where I was going, how this would be a job. I had no idea. And while I was going in school, I worked at a call center and answered phones. Boy, this is a long story. So I worked in this call center, and I kind of passed around my zine to people that I worked with, because when the phones aren't ringing, it can't hurt to just read stuff. A few weeks later, I get called down into the offices of the executives and got pulled into this meeting, big long boardroom table with everybody in suits. And at the head of the table is the vice president holding up my zine. He's like, "Is this yours?" No. I'm like, yes. He goes, "Do you want to answer phones for a living?" I said, "No." Because you seem really creative. And we keep hearing about this thing called the internet. And we were thinking maybe you could learn about it, learn what a homepage is and how to make one. Maybe take your little magazine here, port it over to the internet onto a homepage. And after you learn how to do all this, then you can make us a company homepage. At the time, I had no idea what the internet was. So it was 95. And I said, "I have no idea what you're talking about, but yes, absolutely yes." And before I knew it, I was a webmaster. I was in the field of technology. I was a internet professional in a field that did not exist when I was in college picking my major. In his book, Adam talks about the importance of doing something rather than being something. Doing science rather than being a scientist. We live in a time when people will change what they do many times. We have all sorts of careers. I've done so many different things in my life. And if you allow yourself that freedom, then you can allow this untold map, this untold opportunities to appear. I had this wonderful advice when I was in high school, when I was just slightly weird, but starting to feel my weirdness. And a woman that I was dating, her mom, she said, "You remind me of my brother. My brother's brilliant, but he has never had a job for more than a couple years. He's done this and that and this and that and this and that, and he's the happiest person I've ever met." And I remember that so clearly, because that was the first time that I'd ever heard anybody give permission to change directions, to think again. I thought that the only way you could live is upward mobility, upward on the staircase, upward, more, better, more. And she was saying, hey, maybe happiness is doing a little of this, little that, a little this, little that. And I think that that is something that we need to give ourselves permission for, because good luck, bad luck, hard to say. Who knows what is going to make us happy? Which is why I get so focused on the the advice that I put on all my stickers that I put on everything I own that says be present, have integrity, align with love. Get clear on who you are and make decisions, as opposed to where you think you need to go, because you don't know. You know what you can program into the GPS, but you're gonna miss your favorite band and your life partner. You don't know. Be present, have integrity, align with love. And from that place of presence, you can have a new beginning in every moment. And in that new beginning, you can change direction. So screw the map. I mean, don't screw the map. It's helpful to know where the piranhas are in the quicksand. But that's what worked in the past. The world changes and you change. And it's a frustrating life if you're going to be upset every time your plans don't work. Sure, God will be laughing, but you'll be miserable. Thank you. I love you. Wasn't that video great? And you know what? I know what you're going to like. I got another one for you. This one, I'm pretty sure you're going to like, but this one you will definitely like. So check out one of these videos and let's keep this vibe going.